the suppression of the use of marijuana and of the forces lurking behind it are the most important jobs this department is now engaged in. In 1930, the records on marijuana in the Washington office of the Narcotics Division scarcely filled a small folder like this. Today, they fill cabinets.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Coloradians and everyone that's smart enough to listen from the outside.
One of the most amazing plants we've ever discovered.
The pot party, the trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
I got weed pots.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Stone d'Appetit. With your host, as always, it's me, Kip. To my left, I got CB. How are you, CB?
I'm doing well. Recovering from some celebration dinners the other night, but we're here.
Dude, it's been a gauntlet from widespread to Pride. It's just been, and then the birthday parties. We've just had a nonstop, but we're back at it. And thankfully, we're back at it in a brewery today. So we'll be able to kind of shake that hangover buzz this afternoon. But yeah, for those that are listening, we're coming to you today from the Wynkoop Brewery, just across the street from Union Station. You know them very well because they've been a mainstay in the downtown area since your ass has been in town. So for all our transplants, all 3 years you've been here, they've been right here on the corner. And for all the natives, they seriously were like the first fucking bar. We were just talking about it.
Newsflash, it's on Wynkoop.
Yep, and they've just brought in we're going to be talking to all things, like collabs, but also don't forget they have the Coop, the fried chicken place that they were doing as a test run. Things full-fledged, all gas, no brakes. It's all a go. And we got All-Star Week is this week, Chris. I mean, it's bumping. It's bumping. Well, before we get into the episode, let's give a quick shout-out to our sponsors. As always, it's our friends over at Callie's Cannabis. If it wasn't for Callie's, we wouldn't know exactly where the best flower to buy recreationally. So for those that are coming in town for the All-Star Game, like we mentioned, or if you're just a regular transplanter native in town, the best weed you can buy in Denver legally is from our friends over at Callie's. And they luckily just opened up 2 new locations in the downtown Denver area, the one on 31st and Larimer, and then the one on West Culster Place and 8th Avenue down in kind of that blue-collar industrial area. It used to be Botanico. They repainted, they remodeled, they got the grow up and running. The place is firing on all cylinders. So check out our friends at Callie's Cannabis. Check them out on Instagram at Shop Callies, SHOPPECALLIES, or check them out at the website www.shopcallies.com. All right, that was a word.
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it.
Well done.
All right, so we have an epic episode today. We have 2 gentlemen joining us, one from Wynkoop Brewing, the other one from Friction Labs. And what you're probably thinking is, oh, shit, Kip, what's Friction Labs? Well, don't worry, we're going to tell you about it. But first, let's introduce our guests. We have Charles McManus and Kevin Brown. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, y'all say that now, but in 30 minutes, y'all can be like, fucking PR team got us locked in on this on an early day. And these guys are drunk already. But, yeah, we really are fired up to not only talk to y'all. Y'all are both coming from a little bit different expertise. And so y'all combined have put out a pretty gnarly product, and we're here to learn a little bit more about it. But before we do that, we like to ask the same question to all of our guests just to kind of get the balls rolling. And Chris is going to lead that off because I got a little cotton mouth. So, Chris, do the honors.
All right, Charles. Are we a transplant or a native?
Transplant.
Transplant. Where are we coming from?
Grew up in South Florida. Been
Florida.
here for about just over 9 years.
Nice.
Pay my taxes. You know, I'm a full-fledged resident now. I got the plates.
Do you have a
Bought a
Subaru?
house. I got a Honda Element.
Oh, that
so
one that
I'm,
opens
I'm
up?
in
Shit,
there, yeah.
You're loud.
Did you leave the jean shorts behind?
I kept the jean shorts, but I
They're
don't
back
wear
in?
them out here.
What? Really? They're coming back in. That hipster vibe
Right?
is really bringing them back.
Somebody said it the other day that Hillbilly's coming back.
Dude, all 4 of us are going to be in good shape.
Right?
As a bunch of rednecks sitting at this table. It's going to be great. Well, Charles, you are, I guess, the representative today coming to us from the Wynkoop Brewing, correct?
That's right.
Did you come out here to Colorado for brewing, or was it
That's
a love
exactly
for beer?
right. I
shit.
came out here with a food science degree from Florida State and had been homebrewing and basically saw that the scene out here was an opportunity to learn. And I started kind of doing some little gigs around up in Boulder, doing some homebrew stuff, and then actually got my first gig here at Wynkoop about 7 years ago. I started
what
cleaning
is little
kegs.
gigs in homebrew? Does that mean
Okay.
like you go make like butt
Helping
hash?
on the canning line,
Cleaning tanks.
floors, not even tanks yet. Like not the ground floor. We're talking like the basement, like the stuff that you can do on the side and get a few low fill cans.
So a lot of stale beer smell and shit like that.
Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah. They're like, see
It's
that
like
corner
washing
over there?
dishes.
Yeah, it's like a washing dishes
We're
type of
restaurant guys.
Yeah, exactly. It's like that. It's mopping the floors, picking brains from the brewers, seeing what they're doing. But yeah, I had that science background, so it was.
And
it
the
made a lot
party
of sense.
background from Florida State.
Right, come on.
That's a perfect
It all makes
chemistry
sense.
and I mean that is a
And it's a
vibe
good time.
down there. Yeah.
That's right.
Moving to Denver was probably a little bit of a rough adjustment for you.
Well, I moved to Boulder first,
That's
and then
smart.
started coming down here on my days off to clean kegs, and that's how I got a job. They started paying me to put the rings on the cans back when we canned beer here, and a lot of fun times down in the basement, and then just chipped my way, worked my way up to the canning line, into the cellar,
Sabotaged
up
everybody
into
ahead
the
of you,
brewer.
just climb that ladder.
That's right.
Classic
Well,
capitalism.
every time
Love
I
it.
thought that I might have to check out a new brewery to get, a little bit higher up on the totem pole, a position opened up at
Funny how
Wynkoop.
that works, right?
Crazy.
But at the same time, that it is nice that y'all's community, and we'll speak about that with Kevin and Friction and that collab as well. But the community in the brewing world is like nice, where y'all can go to each other not only for questions
That's
or
right.
also but ideas, or you've
That's
done
right.
something really great here. But that's also fair to jump ship if you had to. Like the opportunities to grow and learn.
That's
from
right.
Boulder to Denver and things like that.
It's super collaborative, especially in Denver. It's just the camaraderie is huge, and you see somebody you might have met at Ratioed, one time, and you see him at the grocery store with a Ratio shirt. Yo, what's up, Ratio? Hey, what's up, Wynkoop? Like high five, and that's it. It's like, yo, what do you got coming on?
It's like Jeep people. Like you see them and you give each other like the old finger wave.
It's seriously, it's true.
But that camaraderie
It's
kind of
huge.
it transcends not only the brewery world, and this is gonna be a perfect segue into like y'all do other things. Whether it be outside activities, bring great collabs also, and that brings me to introduce Kevin Brown of Friction Labs. Is that correct?
That's right.
Yes, I nailed the company, and the name was a slam dunk. But
And it was a perfect segue. I mean, we're killing it.
God, we should do more.
It's like
of
you
these.
guys are pros or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is. All right,
And
so,
our audio sounds good too.
so before we move forward, Kevin, are you a transplant or a native?
I'm a transplant from the great state of Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
We're not full redneck. But those are some drinkers up there.
Yeah.
They are like some of the best drinkers.
And
in
they've
fact.
got cheese.
Cheese and beer is like their jam.
Yeah, I think when the Badgers went to the Rose Bowl when I was in high school, they drank the city out of bourbon.
Really?
Yeah.
Amazing.
What's Pasadena?
Yeah,
a bunch of
Pasadena.
pussies. But
Yeah.
also, we don't have any. We don't care for California here in Colorado. But also, what year are we talking? We talking Russell Wilson or a little bit younger than that?
Oh, younger than that.
Tolver?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
I remember those years. I'm just trying to run it back. We're football guys. Well, what brought you here from Wisconsin? You hated the cold?
Climbing, really. Actually,
Oh, shit.
I graduated from college. I went to North Carolina for a little bit and got really into rock climbing. And there's probably no better state to be in than Colorado. So came out here and kind of started over.
Wait, let's dial this back. You went down to North Carolina for a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
fell in love with climbing, like Asheville area, Black Mountain.
Oh, no.
Highlands?
I started climbing in college. I played
okay.
college football and then
I can believe that.
stopped.
You have the shoulders of a moose.
Yeah, thanks. It doesn't help me in climbing at all. And then I moved to North Carolina. I was a high school science teacher for a little bit, and then realized that I want to do something different with my life, so moved
Smart.
out here.
I love that. That's the passion. Y'all both kind of followed your heart. Like, I was just kind of bored in Mississippi. I was like, there's nothing fucking going on.
It was
here.
too damn hot.
Oh, man. But I love that y'all did that. So how did we find our way into this niche of, I'll figure out what I want to do, but I want to be outdoors because I enjoy climbing, and now you've got a job in it. How did that come to fruition?
Well, I think it was a long time in the making. So I was in sales, worked for a couple of different software companies.
Me too.
Oh, nice. I sold payroll for ADP for a little bit. It was actually the job that I came out here with. And I've always been into climbing ever since college. About 12 years ago, two of my friends and I, we started the Denver Bouldering Club. One of the first climbing gyms in Denver proper.
Great gym.
I know exactly what you're talking
That was
about.
like sort of my first entrepreneurial itch got scratched. And from there, I'd been doing that about like 4 or 5 years. And then with my business partner in IKEA, we started Friction Labs, and I've been doing that ever since. We're going into our 8th year now.
And what is exactly Friction Labs? Y'all are kind of this is about to be like peak season for y'all. We mentioned, the climbing, but y'all are kind of an all-encompassing athletic chalking company, and I guess outdoor. This is y'all's scene. The Olympics are coming. People are using y'all's shit.
True.
We were talking about it beforehand. I got all excited. Sorry, I love sports.
So I'm a bit of an obsessive climber, and with my moose shoulders, climbing's it's kind of difficult because most of the folks, if you watch the guys that are in the Olympics and women in the Olympics, you'll see that they are much smaller stature.
Thin-framed.
I would say
Thin-framed, lean, lean.
Yeah.
Scrappy, wiry.
I feel like you just described Wes Welker.
Maybe. Chalk is probably the most important piece of gear that you use in climbing, because that's how your hands stay in contact with the rock. And I had bought some off-brand chalk. I went climbing. It didn't work for me at all. I threw a temper tantrum, came home. My wife's a geologist, so I asked her where chalk comes from. She didn't know, but she hooked me up with a guy who has an XRF lab. We tested.
What is an XRF lab?
X-ray fluorescence lab.
Okay,
So
don't expect our crowd to know what that is. You don't have to chop that down. Go ahead and give us the long-winded one.
If you shoot XRF at anything, it'll tell you all the elements that are present there in like the ratio.
Cool.
Sweet.
That sounds good.
So chalk.
I want to put my drugs in there.
It'd probably be mostly carbon. Yeah.
Fentanyl.
Well, maybe not. So chalk's marketed as 100% magnesium carbonate. No one sells 100% magnesium carbonate, and most of the chalk comes from Southeast Asia. So
I've seen this movie, American Gangster.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, we do put a lot of white powder through the mail.
Yeah. More George Young, rest in peace.
But when we had it tested, we saw that most of it was, less than 60% pure. So started doing some research, found out that there's different grades of chalk. So we started working with pharmaceutical grade chalk. So you're into pharmaceuticals. If you've ever taken a white pill, you've probably taken, you've probably eaten some of our chalk.
I like the blue pills. Shout out to the ladies out there.
Whatever you need.
Were you talking about Xanax?
Well, most pharmaceuticals they use our chalk, or the same thing as our chalk, to compress it down.
Are we about to learn that chalk's in damn near everything?
Yes.
It's in a lot. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Keep on going.
Yeah.
I'm fascinated already.
Yeah.
I'm learning so much.
So through this, we tested our chalk out. We got a really good response from people. It lasts way longer than the other stuff that's out there because it's way more pure. And launched a website, and here we are. Almost 8 years later, we're in 27 countries and like 1,000 retailers around the U.S. And it's been quite the journey.
So you did mention that chalk is the most important thing when climbing. I would have figured ropes. That would have been my
or
guess.
hands.
Depends what kind of climbing you're doing. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it depends what kind of climbing you're doing.
Like if you're free soloing, you definitely want some.
Oh yeah, how many times I watched that recently, so we can talk about that maybe.
That's great. Yeah, that's great.
That's where that. It's gonna be like that Chris Farley scene. Be like, you remember that time you were in that movie? That's how that interview would go.
So now y'all are repping this, high grade chalk. I mean, are major athletes using it? What's the story now? Like it's
swimmers.
Yeah. Nice.
Well, so pre-pandemic, we were mostly climbing, and majority of the top climbers around the world use our chalk. We've got 2 of our athletes going to the Olympics: Colin Duffy, Brooke Rabitou. Hopefully they crush it, both Colorado kids. So that should be okay on this podcast.
You can say whatever you want, but we're definitely fired up to hear that. Yeah. Don't cheer for certain countries.
Yeah. And then when the pandemic hit and everything got shut down, in an effort to stay in business, we did two things. We developed a chalk that is more effective than a hand sanitizer at killing COVID.